Gray, 3 minutes and change left in the third. Brown double team, throws it right to Howard. Natasha's got Mabry, the only defender, and she coasts by her and lays it up and in. Seattle looking to run away from this one tonight.
And the fans love it, whether they're in Key Arena or in Everett or at University of Washington. The fans know here in Seattle that they want to beat LA, and the crowd coming to life there before that LA bucket.
And Mabry answers. Impressive attendance tonight of 6,100, and keep in mind this is not their normal arena. A lot of these fans had to fight traffic for an hour 15, an hour 30 just to get up here to Everett for this game. So a very nice crowd tonight supporting Seattle, and they've got a 20-point lead. Mabry, the 3 ball up top, but we got a whistle before and a foul inside on an illegal screen. You see a lot of hands on hips for Los Angeles. They look very tired. And this is just the first game of a road trip for LA. They've been at home since last Friday.
Yeah, well, I think for Seattle, Dan Hughes talked about it, the culture of toughness. And he is convinced that this team is just so mentally and physically tough. And a couple of years ago, I don't know if you could say that, but this group of women winning that title last year and just how they stick up for themselves and keep fighting. It's an impressive group of women that are 5-4 this season with so many obstacles with Sue Bird, Brianna Stewart, Dan Hughes missing time, and you see Elena Beard there really shaking up. Looks like she might have taken a
finger in the eye or something. It looked like she was the only one close to the ball, but maybe Alicia got her. Ooh, right there. Yeah, with the thumb. My goodness.
One of the classiest individuals in professional basketball, Elena Beard. Hope that she's okay. That hurts.
Well, and a tough break for LA, too, because Elena was definitely getting that ball. But she had to stop. She couldn't see the ball, and she had to stop, and she put her hands on her eyes and then lost the ball out of bounds. It was going to be Los Angeles basketball. They are reviewing it just to make sure that there's no foul here on Alicia, but that's incidental contact there.
Yeah, anytime you get a hand to the face, they want to know how and what happened. And it was just an errant pass from Sammy Whitcomb. She was leading Alicia Clark too much right here.
Right.
She has position in the key, and she's trying to get her to release off the seal.
But Alicia was leaning back.
Ball.
She couldn't come get to the basketball.
Yeah, she was trying to keep Chelsea Gray pinned from behind, and so you're right. A lucky break for Seattle, as that ball would have been heading into the hands of Chelsea Gray or out of bounds.
Well, Alicia talked about one of the keys before the game, the rebounding, and Seattle has 10 offensive rebounds for 13 second chance points. LA only has 4 offensive rebounds for 2 second chance points.
And LA, with the lineup that they have to beat you in rebounding and in point paints and in interior stuff, because they are built around their power forwards in a big 3 lineup with Candace Parker playing that 3. And if they're not going to do that, they're not going to win.
How about Mercedes? There's an offensive rebound and a putback, making 11 offensive boards for Seattle tonight. They lead by 22.
Well, Mercedes Russell, the Tennessee product, now in her 2nd season, has really provided some strength off the bench for Dan Hughes and Gary Kloppenberg. 15 and 11, both career highs at Washington. You just see she makes big plays at opportune times.
Driving baseline. Here's Whitcomb. Now Langhorne has just checked in. Ooh, faking Agumake out there. Didn't take advantage of it, though, and then we've got a walking violation. Boy, she had Agumake in the rocker and didn't take advantage of it. I think she lost handle of the basketball. I don't think she's used to shaking people like that. That's not really her game.
One of the best finishers the league has ever seen. 12th season playing in the league.
Agumake catch and shoot off the mark. There's Russell, another rebound. She's got 4.
And anytime you can push Agumake outside of the paint, you're going to have success. She's so money inside the lane.
Aaron's shot there, taken down by Agumake. Here comes Mabry across the timeline, picked up by Whitcomb. Driving baseline, step back now. That one's no good. Whitcomb tracks it down in the corner. Raquana Williams for LA, Blake Dietrich for Seattle. Going to check in at the next dead ball. We got inside 40 to play here in the third quarter. Mosqueda Lewis, hip check screen by Russell. Driving baseline, gets it to Mercedes. Oh, misses the bunny. Quite a few bunnies missed inside for Seattle today.
One thing you notice about the Storm, though, is Mercedes Russell turning around and pointing at Kalina Mosqueda Lewis saying, great pass, my bad, couldn't get it to go.
Right. We've
seen that multiple times today where it goes a long way. The next time you try to pass it to somebody, you see them miss it, you still want to go back to them because they appreciate the look.
8 seconds left for Jewell, crossing the timeline with 4. Gets a screen, pulls with 1, no good. But another quarter dominated by the Seattle Storm. They just keep stretching that lead out further and further. It was 12 at the end of the quarter. It's 20 now. 64-44 our score. The final 10 to play from Everett.
Storm basketball presented by Swedish, the official medical care team of the Seattle Storm. Health for good. Supported in part by Carter Subaru, planning a forest one test drive at a time. In Shoreline, Ballard, and at cartersubaru.com. BECU, the official credit union of the Seattle Storm. And by Anthony's, supporting partner of Superhero Night.
64-44 our score here in Everett, Washington. Seattle 10 minutes away from their 6th win of the season in 10 games. And who's going to be the star in this quarter, at least? First quarter was Jewell Loyd. Second quarter is Natasha Howard. How about Mercedes Russell in this quarter? All 4 points, all 5 rebounds in the third quarter. Doing it, and she could have had more. She missed a shot inside, very easy one.
If you want to talk about the depth of this league and how I would love to see it expand to more teams, you have a player like Mercedes Russell coming off the bench. She's 6'6". She can move. She can go either hand. She's tough as a rebounder, and she's a player that comes off your bench. You have a player like Crystal Langhorne coming off your bench that's been in the league for 12 seasons and is a former All-Star. This league has so much talent on the bench with 12 players on a roster. It's incredible.
Well, how about Seattle's bench right now as Elena Beard sticks the jumper? They have no Sue Bird, they have no Brianna Stewart, they have no Jordan Canada, and yet they are starting 5 bench players right now to start the fourth quarter. That's how much confidence Dan Hughes has in the bench. But right now, Raquana Williams picks the pocket of Dietrich and fouls her.
Yeah, Blake Dietrich, that's as a point guard, you see her tapping her chest saying, my bad, my bad. It's the one thing that you don't want to do as a point guard is get picked at the top and then give up a coast-to-coast lay-in right here. Just quick hands right here.
Well, you don't want LA taking advantage of this situation here where Seattle's got all 5 bench players. They're going to have to play well. Because really, I mean, all of them get time except for Dietrich usually. But only Crystal Langhorne really is somebody that's used to playing a lot of minutes.
Well, I just think at this point, with the time and score, with fourth quarter, and now you look up and it's a 17-point lead, you got time to give your bench some minutes and take some of the energy off the legs of the starters who, as you mentioned it, they're already missing 3 players that have been so valuable.
Ooh, Seattle got lucky there. That was almost poke free, and that would have been 1-on-0 the other way for Candace Parker because she was out in front of the mix. I think LA's given one last effort push here, and you've got to quell the uprising in the next about 2 minutes. Whitcomb back to Dietrich. Spin move on Mabry, almost loses it again. Langhorne with 1 on the shot clock. She hits it well beyond her range, but she flicked it up about a half a second too late.
That's unfortunate. One part of her game she's really been working on, excuse me, is that 3-point shot. And that one was true.
Parker with it against Langhorne. These two have battled a long time. And Elena Beard goes to the floor. And here comes Natasha Howard. And I think you'll see Dan Hughes liberally substitute his starters back in the game here over the next minute or 2. First foul on Courtney Paris.
That was one where Courtney Paris, she's like, did somebody run into me? I don't even think, she didn't even intend. I don't know if she even saw Beard and her head was turned as a weak side defender, but when a player goes flying. And Paris was moving a little bit. They're going to get called.
Well, the offense just got a lot better with Natasha Howard and Jewell Loyd checking in. Those two have combined for 40. Here's Mabry with it. She's fouled, almost the and one, and she'll go to the free throw line for 2 shots. So LA definitely has more energy coming out of this fourth quarter than they showed in the late stages of the third. That's for sure. Sammy Whitcomb with the foul, her second.
Yeah, the one thing for Seattle is you're in a situation where you're looking at the time and the score, and really you just want the clock to keep moving, and they have fouled already in this quarter and let them stop the clock and then set their defense, hit free throws, and that's the recipe to giving up a big lead.
Absolutely. You got to play to win by 25 to 30, not hope that you're still ahead when the clock runs out. 7-0 run for Los Angeles. Natasha tries to quell it. No good. Williams up to Beard. There's a hop in this LA step. Mabry, long three, step back, badly missed, out of bounds. Seattle basketball.
Maybe he's had a couple of, Mabry, excuse me, has had a couple of shots that are really difficult in this game. Not a high percentage, and that was one of them, as you saw, was badly missed, but I think just too much of a rush. You're looking up and you definitely see the time and score, but that one was not a good look.
That was pretty basketball. High-low kick out to Jewell Loyd, and here's a pick by Sammy Whitcomb. She coasts in. The filler is Crystal Langhorne to the strong hand and lays it up and in. And D. Fish wants a timeout. Seattle has quelled the uprising, and they're back to a 20-point lead. 69-49. They're on their feet in Everett. Seattle trying to walk away to a victory. Great night for Jewell Loyd tonight, Elise. 23 points. That last three ball gave her 5 threes on the game. That ties her career high. So one of the better shooting nights in Jewell Loyd's illustrious all-star career tonight. 8 of 17 overall, 5 of 9 from 3.
Excellent shooting performance by Jewell Loyd, and her teammates have done a nice job of finding her so she can just catch and shoot, and she doesn't have to dribble and look for her shot.
Crystal Langhorne steals it away from Agumake, and then he gets knocked out of bounds.
And this Seattle Storm team has not shot the three like they did last season in winning the WNBA championship. They're not taking as many, they're not making as many, and obviously without Breanna Stewart, the MVP, and Sue Bird, you have two of the best three-point shooters in the world that are not on your team, but they've kind of changed how they've gone. They've gone from shooting over 40% of their shots from deep to less than 10%, so it's a big difference in how they approach the game. Today, 10 made three-point shots for the Seattle Storm. By far, one of their best performances from deep.
53%, 10 of 19 for Seattle. Sydney Weiss checks back in, replacing Alina Beard. They're going to need some threes from Weiss here down the stretch if they want to get back into this one. Whitcomb to inbound. Flips it up top to Howard. Candace Parker still just 2 points on 1 of 8. There's another 3 attempt. She made the last one, did Crystal, but it was after the buzzer. Mosqueda Lewis after the offensive rebound. Looks good. It is good. Natasha Howard keeping that alive for KML for the 3 ball.
72-49, 11 made threes. The first time Seattle has been in double digits in terms of three-point makes this season, and it just continues.
8-0 run on the strip by Howard. Kick back to Loyd. Can she have a career high of 6? No. Candace Parker bringing it down.
But I think for LA right now, you got to get Candace Parker some good looks. She was down low early in this game. She's not found her rhythm yet. Did not play well, had only 3 points and 6 turnovers against Washington. Get her some looks. It's a good look for her. You want to get her in a rhythm so that she can become a big part of this offense.
Here's Jewell, loses handle of it, now gets it back, flips it to Langhorne. Used her dribble up, so just floats it up. Natasha comes flying in, almost steals the rebound away from Aquana Williams. 6:11 left to go. Free ball by Mabry, a little long. Back and forth we go. Here's Jewell against Weiss. 24 against 24. Jump shot is good. Polina Mosqueda-Lewis has knocked down her last two. We do have to remember, I mean, Parker and Beard just making their second appearance of the season. LA is going to be a lot better team in August than they are right now. There's no question about that.
Oh, I don't think anybody would argue that Beard, her first game back since the season opener tonight, she looked good. She looked really good. She looked in shape. She was moving well. So glad to see that. And then, of course, Candace Parker trying to get her back in a rhythm. And then don't forget Maria Vadeeva, who had 24 points.
In her only game.
In her only game, and then went overseas back to Russia for Eurobasket. But she's going to be back shortly. And what she could do for this LA team could make a big difference.
Very talented. You know, Derek Fisher compared fitting Candace back into the lineup. He said it's like having a blockbuster star who doesn't enter the filming until halfway through the film's production. And then you got to put her in and you got to edit it so it looks like she was there before, and it's just like herky-jerky right now.
Yeah, it's a good analogy, actually.
Mosqueda-Lewis with it. Driving baseline. Getting some space, a little too much space with the off arm there as she shoves Mabry to the deck.
No argument there from Polina?
No, not at all. She extended that off arm. Seattle now bringing some of their bench back in with Courtney Paris back in to join Whitcomb and Polina Mosqueda-Lewis. That looked like went off Weiss's shoulder, and it did. And again, the pesky Sammy Whitcomb causing those turnovers. She doesn't need a steal to cause you to turn the ball over. She's just being there, making you uncomfortable.
Well, that time she just got over the top of the screen, and they wanted to do a handoff, and she went right in between it and knocked that ball off Weiss for the turnover.
Hey fans, let's take a look at the upcoming WNBA national television schedule. We've got one coming up on Sunday, June the 23rd. Washington will take on Atlanta. That's a 1 o'clock Eastern start. And then on CBS Sports Network on Tuesday night, that'll be the 25th of June, Minnesota at Indiana. That's a 7 p.m. Eastern start. Great to see CBS Sports Network in our mix for the WNBA calls this season. Seattle by 25 right now, leading the way. Jewel Lloyd and her 23 points. Natasha Howard with 20. No one else in double figures for Seattle, although Alicia Clark, get this, only 1 point and 1 rebound away from her first career double-double. I was surprised to see that. She's never had a double-double before. Here's Clark with it. Didn't get the points she needed there. Reese brings it up to 4:20 left. That's a lot of strength down low between Brown and Courtney Paris. My goodness, I don't want to be down there with those two. And an off-arm foul there. Whitcomb pushing off. Imagine trying to go up for a rebound in between Brown and Paris. You wouldn't make it out okay.
No. The two have pulled in their fair share of boards in their time, that's for sure.
Alicia has her 10th, so she's looking for 1 point now. Here's Williams kicking it back. Weiss fires and hits. That's why they drafted her.
Just automatic when she gets any kind of daylight at all. And she's something that LA needs desperately, and that is a long-range gunner.
Good move by Dan Hughes here, getting Blake Dietrich back in the game. She needs to get some confidence. Who knows? They might have to play her a lot on Sunday. We don't know Jordan Canada's status. Then we got a jump ball. Looks like it could have been a walk, but it was a tie-up. So Crystal Langhorne's going to jump it up against Raquana Williams.
We've had more jump balls in this game than I can ever remember.
Yep. Well, it's feisty defense is one of the reasons. Both teams are playing really handsy defense tonight.
It's been a physical game. A lot of contact.
Gumake fakes the pass, puts the shot up no good. And Seattle comes down with the rebound. There's Whitcomb trapped in the corner, gets it off to Mosqueda-Lewis. She says, hey, look, I'm wide open. How about that? She looked around and passed to somebody. She's like, well, I guess I'm just going to shoot this. Nobody's guarding me. Back to 25.
The 12th made three of the game for the Seattle Storm.
And here's Adumake putting it up and in. They've shot well here in their 3 games in Everett. I kind of like this building.
3-0 with a win here this evening against LA. It's nice to be home. Seattle started this season 7 of their first 9 games on the road, and yet entered the game 5-4. Well, they're going to go to 6-4, 3-0 at home, and they're going to have 7 of their next 8 at home.
Hey fans, guarantee your seat for all 12 games at Alaska Airlines Arena for just $100 with the Fast Break Pass. The offer is limited to only available for the first 100 buyers. Guarantee your seats at stormbasketball.com. 77-54 our score. Dick Fain, Elise Woodward here in Everett, Washington. And with this win tonight, Elise, Seattle will extend their streak. 45 straight games played without back-to-back losses. And that will tie the LA Sparks for 3rd longest of all time back in those great, 4th longest of all time back in 2001, 2002. So those are some pretty good Sparks teams that they tied tonight.
Pretty impressive stuff. Of course, Sue Bird there for so many of those last season as they won the championship, her 3rd championship. And cheering on Megan Rapinoe. Look at that, the U.S. soccer star, number 15. They get the win today, 2-0, so they are perfect in pool play. So Sue Bird winning a championship, and then cheering on her girlfriend to see if she can win a championship this year with the U.S. women's national team.
Do you think Seattle's catching teams off guard because they're like, hey, there's no Brianna, there's no Sue, this isn't the same championship team we played last year, we might be able to come in and breeze to a win, and 3 teams have come in here and 3 teams have come out with a loss?
No, I think that Seattle was so deep last year that you're seeing how deep they are. They're not the best team in the league anymore like they were last year, but can you imagine this team with Brianna Stewart and with Sue Bird?
Oh, goodness.
I don't think
what they were last year.
I don't think Natasha Howard showed everything that she was capable of because she didn't need to. Brianna Stewart takes so much defensive attention and does so much defensively, patrolling the paint with that long reach. But Natasha Howard, she's going to be an all-star for the first time in her career this year, and she's an MVP candidate with the way that she's playing. I don't think anybody would have known that without the injury to Brianna Stewart. Really just how talented Natasha Howard is.
And usually it goes the other way. Usually when players succeed in spurts, like Natasha did in her Minnesota career, and then they get many more minutes, you usually see the holes in their game, and they usually can't improve. The more minutes Natasha gets, the better she looks. It's amazing.
Yeah, she has been such a tremendous addition to the Seattle Storm. For a 2nd-round draft pick to Minnesota, they were just loaded with so many superstars. They couldn't sign her, they couldn't fit her in, and boy, does she fit into Seattle. Changed the entire dynamic of this franchise.
Crystal for 3. Why not? Everybody else is hitting them. Seattle 13 of 24 from 3. Wow.
Yeah, they like the Nets here in Everett. On Sunday, they will be playing at the University of Washington as they wait for Key Arena to be renovated over the next 2 seasons.
Mabry answers with a 3 with $1:40 left.
So Indiana will be in town on Sunday for the Seattle Storm, and for LA, they're going to have another challenge at Phoenix on Sunday.
That 3 by Crystal Langhorne. She's done it 9 other times in her WNBA career, so we don't see that very often. About 1 a season we see from Crystal. Mabry misses the shot, 1:20 left, and Seattle's just going to walk it up. Zealous with it. Little push hop there on Mabry, trying to fight through a screen. With it, Mosqueda Lewis. 3 ball on the way, no good by Dietrich. And it's LA basketball. Seattle 42% from the field, but 52% from 3-point range. They were barely shooting 40% from 2-point range tonight. Ball tipped back up and in. I think Courtney Paris almost helped that one squeak over the rim. How about the D tonight, holding LA to 59 points?
Yeah, their defense has been really impressive. They never really let Chelsea Gray get into a rhythm, which is such a key. She was 3 of 9 today, just 1 of 4 from the three-point line, and ended up with 7 points in this one. And Chelsea Gray is the key to moving the ball, getting good looks for that big front line that's so impressive for LA. And their half-court offense just did not look smooth today. And Seattle doubled Chelsea Gray on those high picks and had their hands in the lane, moved their feet well, and then finished their defensive possessions with rebounds, and that's why they ran away with this one.
Their opponent low this year is 66. And how about Langhorne? Now we're really seeing something we don't normally see, is Langhorne hitting 2 of them.
Hey, Langhorne is making a statement. That was what she worked on in the offseason, making the 3-ball.
Here's the pick, Dietrich. Get in there and see if she can finish. And she's fouled. Almost got the and one there, and Blake Dietrich will go to the free throw line with 17.4.
And that right there is the first point for Blake Dietrich in a Seattle Storm uniform. She had not scored in the 3 games since she's been signed in the absence of Jordan Canada. Can't make it 2.
At least she's on the board. 84-59. Almost the biggest lead of the game. The biggest lead was 26. Here's Williams with it. 3-ball on the way is up and in. And that will do it. 84-62, our final. Seattle blowing out the LA Sparks. We'll be back to wrap things up right after this.
Well, what a performance by the Seattle Storm here. They are now 3-0 on their home floor here in Everett. 84-62 the final, and it was Jewell Loyd who absolutely went off in this one. 4 of 5 from 3 in the first half, and she finishes the night 5 of 10 from deep for 23 points to lead the way for Seattle. And you can see she's hitting those threes from just about every spot on the court. Left, right, top, wherever it was. And Seattle cruising. They made 14 threes as a team, 14 of 26, outscoring the LA Sparks by 24 points.